I am optimistic about the prospects of using GitHub to store text-based content associated with the Visible Person project. The revelation that this was possible came about when I was thinking that YouTube does a pretty good job of hosting FMVs, but there's nothing that I'm super satisfied with, or was super satisfied with when I was thinking this in bed last night, that does the same thing for text. I had been trying to use Tumblr for that, and probably the whole name Visible Person project, I say probably, I'm like 90% confident. This is the Visible Person project, so having a good history of the name would probably be a good thing since it's all about documentation. But probably the reason it came about is I had this Tumblr and I wanted to post a lot on the Tumblr, and I didn't want people to have high expectations for the quality of the posts. And so I decided to name the Tumblr something that would indicate this is going to be high volume, low quality. And still, despite the name, I didn't feel satisfied with being able to post anything there. I always hesitated if something didn't seem good. And that's because of the nature of Tumblr. People read through their dashboards, and it's like, okay, I see my dashboard, and I scroll through it, and post after post, and it's funny stuff, funny stuff, funny stuff, funny stuff. And if somebody follows me, that doesn't mix in. I'm mixing in with a lot of other entertainment content. GitHub is not designed to be browsed except by crazy people. Now, it can be browsed, but you don't expect it to be entertaining. But hosting stuff on GitHub means that I can collect all this text content, and it can be visible if somebody chooses to follow it, but then I can curate it afterwards, and I can post good stuff on Tumblr. I can cross-post it. I can make tweets about good stuff. I can tweet aggregates and graphs once I have a lot of data enough to make aggregates and graphs out of. So, that is exciting. Also, I have control of my data because GitHub is just a real Git repository. I can clone it, and I can take everything with me. Even if I decide to not use GitHub anymore, I lose nothing. I get like a comprehensive revision history. I know when every edit was made, and those edits are fairly robust against corruption. It's great for the spirit of this project. Free, infinite hosting for text purposes. Like, I won't be putting any video or photo or audio there. There's no... Okay, Flickr is probably as good as YouTube for... Flickr is as good for pictures as YouTube is for videos, now that it has the 1 terabyte thing. Now that they did away with the old style uploads per month for the free accounts. There's no audio site that matches how satisfied I am with Flickr, YouTube, and GitHub for video, photos, and text, respectively. But YouTube is just like, okay, we put some still image behind the audio, and then YouTube hosts your audio. It's perfect. That's dumb, and it feels dumb, but it gets the job done. An apprehension that I've had to get over is the idea that I'll run out of things to talk about. Like, I make notes for Nerd Talk because I expect that I will need to come up with things to talk about, and sometimes, I'll worry that there won't be enough to say about a movie, but in recent times, we have always wrapped up talking about a movie with lots of things that I didn't get to say in my head. And that's fine, because it's like you say the best and most interesting things at a moment, and the ones that are the funniest when considered in the context of a conversation, and the ones that aren't as funny get left behind. And so, that's the editing process. You make a lot of everything, and then you filter down to the good stuff. That's basically how all creativity works. Whether you actually get the bad stuff out on paper or not, or if it just comes in your head and gets filtered out before it gets out of your brain. It's still the same fundamental process. So, I don't know if I had a moral of the story. There was some play, wherein a guy was married to his wife, and he was like, when we first got married, I thought we were going to run out of things to talk about. And I read that in, it must have been middle school. I think it made an impression on me. And in the play, it said we never ran out of things to talk about. It's like, listen, we are not even going to come close to running out of things to talk about in our lifetimes. We're always, always, always going to be leaving tons of shit on the table. That's just a factor of how complex the universe is and how limited time is.